All right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. Hey, my name is Dr. Bagley. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay, let's do a recap. We talked about the different heavens, the thrones, those who are sitting on the thrones, their purposes. In context, I really only talked about the white throne who judges and the book of life. Okay. Then I talked about the different lords. You have to, don't look at the name, just look at their character. What lord are you going to follow? Abraham's lord, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's lord. Peace. Yahshua talks about Abraham's being in a heaven, still at peace because of the poor man's in Abraham's bosom. Okay. King Solomon's Lord, peace. The enemies around him was peaceful. They were at a time of peace. He was also wise, very wise, and his writings, we'll get into that later on to help us become masters in what we're about to do. Then you have the lords like King Saul and David, warrior lords, kill everybody, kill anything, everything. Then you have Moses' Lord, who killed the firstborn, killed innocent people because of their milk and honey. You have different lords, and they have characters, and they have outlines. And I say this because we talked about angels, and there are the light side and the dark side. And like angels, the rankings of those angels, the lords, and the gods, there is the light side and then there is the dark side. It's hard because they all come from the heaven. They were all created by the heaven. Oops, sorry about that, guys. And so, yes, they're all created by the heaven. They all come from the heaven. This is why in Genesis 1 and 2 and God created or separated the light, meaning those who are in heaven, versus the darkness, those who came out of heaven and they're on this earth. So there's the light side and the dark side. Now, today I want to get into one of the subjects within my book, and I'm sorry if it's backwards. This, God is at hand. We do not fight against flesh or blood. It just outlines some of the things that I want to talk about more in detail, so we have a better understanding. So this is book available. I'm not telling you to buy it or do buy it, but if you buy it, thank you very much. But we're going to talk about the Son of God, or child of God more specifically. In doing this, let's define the child of God. Okay. Chocolate milk, coffee, cayenne pepper. It's good. Let's define a child of God. So the child is, by definition, is the beginning. It's the beginner. It's not age of man. It's just a timeline of study. I'm a child getting ready to study into becoming a son, getting ready to become a master, getting ready to die and be judged by the white throne. And that is ultimately the understanding, and the key is to understand what we do on this earth has to be reflected to the judgment that we're going to be once the white throne gets to us. And our objective is to do or to serve the white light side, so when we die, our works will be good enough to get into heaven and not into the lake of fire. And we'll get more in depth into that as we go along. Okay. There's four steps, I should say, Real quick, prioritize our gifts and talents. To master, get to the master level. 3, start working, getting in good standard and stewardship. 4, then you'll start number 2, gifts and talents. And then, of course, we end is death. Because death, then you're going through a test, and then you'll do a judgment. It's kind of lengthy, but we'll get through it, I promise. In this 4 outliners, I want to use me as the example, but you can apply it however it fits within you. The first one is prioritize your gifts and talents. Okay, for me, I started off with photography and videography. I like to write. I started a business. I like a lot of things. I was good physically. I had a lot of talents, like a lot of us do. So I had to prioritize myself eventually. For me, it was later in life, but I had to prioritize my life. And so I realized in prioritizing my life, I streamlined my life. I wasn't chaotic and all over the place. Okay? So you write down, this is what I want you to do. Write down all of your gifts and talents. Just make a list, okay? Give you a second, but just make a list. Okay. Once you have your list, prioritize it to the least to the most important. So if I had 5 positions, I will say, okay, this one is not so important in compared to all of the others. And then I would say in compared to this one is not so important. And then compared to these, this one is not so important. And then out of these 2, I think this one is not so important. This one here, once you get your number 1 thing, it can be spiritual, it can be a nurse, it can be a doctor, it can be a lawyer, it can be whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is, but whatever it is, that's what I want you to focus on. At this moment, you will be classified as a child. Regardless of your age, you're a child, starting a business, being an entrepreneur, going to school to have you're a child. It's a beginning stage. For me, it was God. I wanted to master the spiritual world of God. And so in God, I need to realize, okay, what side? There's a light side and then there is a dark side. The light side says, what's your purpose? The dark side says, what's your desire? So if I was a singer, if singing, entertaining was my number 1, if I go down this path of what's my purpose, singing, I'm going to work, I'm going to grind, and it's going to be extremely hard getting to that master level. If it's on the dark side, what's your desire? I want to be famous as a singer. Sacrifice this, and this, and I will make you a singer. And a lot of entertainers take this side. Now, they're not shy in telling you. They'll take the dark side. Be mindful. They're not looking at the end result of the white throne, judgment, lake of fire. They're not looking at that. They're looking at my number 1 is talent, singing, entertaining. I want to be famous. Dark side. I'm going to help you do the same thing, but on the light side, because you want to get in heaven after you finish all of what you've done on this earth. Okay, so for me, it was a child beginning. God, for me, master the spiritual side of it. The example of a master, Yahshua, okay, better known as Jesus, but Yahshua. And so that's the journey I went on. I started on that journey, and I really became stuck. I couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure it out. Then Grandmama just reminded me, you have a guardian angel. What's a guardian angel? So let's look at Exodus 23:21 more specifically. And here, this is the backdrop is Moses left Egypt, desert, going into a place. And the Lord is saying in verse 20, behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. So the first thing I want you to realize is we all have angels, but be mindful that the scripture didn't dictate or distinguish the type of angel, the side of the angel. If we had an angel, let's go back real fast, and I want to show you the rankings. Which one? Is it the angel, archangel, principalities, powers, right? Is it a light side or is it a dark side angel? Okay, so let's go back. But either way, we'll get more in depth into this. So you have an angel. Beware of him. He's there. That angel is there to keep you in the way. Now, what's the in the way? My number one is to be a master in spiritual. Your number one might be in entertaining. Your number one might be whatever. My number one is to be a spiritual master in spirituality. He's going to take me in the way. He's going to help me down that path. What to do, how to get there. Okay. He's going to bring thee in the place which I have prepared, God has prepared, and this gifts, these talents. There's a scripture that says every man has a gift. Every man has a gift. So that gift comes from the creator aspect of life, because we all have a purpose. So you take your gift, which is your purpose, and you have to have an angel to guide you down that place. Okay, verse 21. Beware of him and obey his voice. Not your heart, not your gut, not your belief, not your faith. Beware of him and obey his voice. How do I obey his voice? Let's do a practice real fast. A practice. How do you hear his voice? Get in a quiet room, right? Nothing, nobody's around you, no music. If you do music, just instrumental. Get a music type that has a relaxing, that kind of music. But preferably no music. get a paper, pencil, so you can write stuff down. You get into your quiet place and you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself. Now, I know in psychological terms they say that's schizophrenic and bipolar and all kinds of stuff. Don't worry about that. Talk to yourself. If you talk to yourself, something inside this body is going to respond. For an example, get in a quiet place and say out loud, "What is my name?" In your side of your brain, your soul is going to repeat your name. It's going to say your name. The more you do that, the more you're keen to understanding that angel. And then the more you'll be able to hear that angel. A lot of people hear that angel very easily, and others may hear the angel. It takes a little time, but you'll be able to hear that angel. It's a inner voice. It's not something that's outside. It's not like a book and I'm looking at the book and it's here. No, it's inner voice. It's your inner voice. We'll get more in depth into how that is possible later, but just trust me. You talk to the angel, you listen to the angel. So if I said, like, for example, me, I said, all right, I want to be a child of God. I want to work towards a master of spirituality. The example is like Yahshua. The angel guided me to voodoo priest, witch, Hindu, Judaism, Yep. If you talk to your angel and you are a singer, entertainer, or whatever, and it says, go here, take a right, take a left, go do that. Talk to this person. That's what the angel does. That's how it talks. That's what it says. It doesn't give you instructions. It's not there to teach you. It's there just to simply say, go right, go left, yes, no. That's it. Talk to that person. That's it. Beware of him. Obey his voice. Provoke him not. He will not pardon your transgressions. Here is a warning. I want to be a master. I hear his voice. Talk to that person. That person is a voodoo priest. I'm not talking to no voodoo priest. I provoked him. He will not pardon my transgressions. It's a transgression because it told me to do something, and it, the angel, represent the light God. And if God instructed the angel, and the angel instructed me to talk to a voodoo priest, and I don't, it's equivalent to me disobeying God himself. So when you have a voice and it says, get up and talk to this teacher, and this teacher says, okay, you don't have no money, that's okay, I'm going to take some time and still teach you because you have a talent and I want to help you develop that talent. If you're a photographer, if you're a welder, it doesn't matter. Whatever the angel tells you to do, you do it. Fear, remember we talked about fear is the dark side. Selfishness is the dark side. Okay? For my name is in him. My name, he represents me. He represents the light, the God side. Now, there's an angel. Beware of him. Obey his voice. And he say, hey, talk to this person. Do this. Sacrifice that. Okay. The angel is a light. It's a dark. They're both the same. They sound both the same because it's an inner voice. How do you know which one is the right light and which one is the dark? It's what they say.